The 2019 NFL draft class is already heading into its third year. Some picks have panned out very nicely, like Nick Bosa, Kyler Murray, and Devin White, just to name a few, but there are some guys that were former first-round picks and early second-round picks entering a crucial year 3, and it's a make-or-break year for some of those guys. So with that said, here's a list of 10 guys entering a make-or-break year in year number 3. Number 1, we have the 4th overall pick, edge rusher Clelin Ferrell of the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, Ferrell hasn't been bad, which is a misconception by some people, but not worth a 4th overall pick so far. He definitely improved from year 1 to year 2, which is definitely encouraging, but he does only have 6.5 sacks in 26 games. Now, the Raiders did sign Yannick Ngakoue to a pretty big deal this offseason, which should take some of the pressure off of him, but in reality, living up to the number 4 overall pick is not his fault, it's mostly the Raiders. I think Clelin Ferrell is going to have a good NFL career, but will he ever be a 4th overall pick type of guy? Maybe not. But based on that pick, the expectations are set high, and we'll see if he can reach that in 2021. At number 2, we have 6th overall pick quarterback Daniel Jones for the New York Giants. The excuse for Daniel Jones last year was that the guy had no weapons, but the Giants went out there and got Kenny Galladay, Kadarius Toney, Kyle Rudolph, John Ross, and they get Saquon Barkley back from the ACL injury. Jones is now in year 2 of the same system, which is Jason Garrett's system, which is probably not a good thing, but there is some continuity there. And Jones has definitely had some of his moments. Being a Giants fan, I've watched every snap of this kid's career. He has shown moments of promise, but then there's moments where he has not shown promise. His pocket awareness and turnovers need some consistency because that's the biggest issue for him right now. And quite honestly, the GM Dave Gettleman's job rides on Daniel Jones, so if Jones struggles this year, both guys may be out the door, so it's definitely a make or break year for Daniel Jones and even the Giants GM Dave Gettleman. At number 3, we have the 9th overall pick, defensive tackle Ed Oliver from the Buffalo Bills. So I have a confession to make. I absolutely loved Ed Oliver coming out of Houston. He had rare explosiveness and physical traits that were crazy. I really thought his game would translate to the NFL easily, but so far he has not put it all together yet, and sometimes he's been so bad against the run that he's been unplayable on early downs. He has gotten to the quarterback a decent amount and has a good amount of pressures, but when you can't stop the run, you can't be a liability out there on 1st and 2nd downs. The potential is there for sure, and I do hope Ed Oliver finds it in 2021, but the Bills do have a ton of talent on their defensive line, so playing time is not going to be easy to get. Between Jerry Hughes, Vernon Butler, Starla Tuieli, Harrison Phillips, Mario Addison, Gregory Rousseau, AJ Epinesa, and now Carlos Basham, playing time will not be given if you're a Bills defensive lineman. Number 4, we have the 12th overall pick, edge rusher Rashod Gary from the Green Bay Packers. Rashod Gary had a ton of raw talent coming out of Michigan, but for the most part, he has been behind Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith so far in his Packers career. Now, maybe this year he gets some snaps over Preston Smith, which is something I personally expect, because Preston Smith's performance kind of fell off last year while Rashod Gary got much better as the year went on. The way Rashod Gary played in weeks 16 and 17, plus the playoffs, definitely will leave some Packers fans encouraged for what he can do in the future. He went from 5 pressures in 2019 to 19 pressures in 2020, so it is possible that Rashod Gary can be the real deal. Zadarius Smith is still playing at a high level, but the Packers can definitely use another great edge rusher opposite of him, and Rashod Gary can hopefully be that guy. At number 5, we have the 22nd overall pick, left tackle Andre Dillard of the Philadelphia Eagles. Dillard did not play in 2020 due to a biceps injury. He did start 4 games as a rookie in 2019 and definitely had his ups and downs, had a couple of good starts, a couple of bad starts, but Jason Peters, as of right now at least, is not on the Eagles roster at 39 years old, so it seems like this is Andre Dillard's job to lose. The Eagles offensive line as a whole had a ton of injuries last year. Brandon Brooks missed the entire season, Lane Johnson missed some time, and of course Andre Dillard, so they need to get healthy first and foremost. And honestly, the Eagles need a franchise left tackle because you cannot bring back Jason Peters every single season. He's now almost 40 years old. This is Andre Dillard's chance to be that guy. At number 6, we have the 27th overall pick, safety Jonathan Abram from the Las Vegas Raiders. And really what it comes down to is I blame the Raiders coaching staff. They try to use this guy as a free safety, but he's more of a box player. According to PFF, he played 372 free safety snaps last year, which was the most of any position he played. But a guy like Jonathan Abram is not very good at reading the quarterback, and he's best in the box for sure. They did draft Trayvon Merrick, more of a natural free safety, so now they can move Abram towards the ball more. And Abram did miss his entire rookie season. Basically, I think he played in 1 game. He had a labrum injury, so based on his playing style and physicality, injuries are definitely possible for him, but hopefully he stays healthy. He has talent, he has physicality, he has the size, but the Las Vegas Raiders need to play him where he's at best, which is around the ball. At number 7, we have the 28th overall pick, defensive tackle Jerry Tillery from the Los Angeles Chargers. The 6'6" defensive tackle has struggled in his first 2 seasons, and so far he's been getting overpowered in the run game, kind of like Ed Oliver in a way. Now, he did play more last year as compared to his rookie year, but he was still not that good. He had a couple of games where he was really good, but not the entire season. He showed his flashes flashes of dominance at Notre Dame, so we know the talent is there, but he needs to put it all together here in the NFL. And maybe this year the Chargers try to put him at edge more because Melvin Ingram, of course, is not on the Chargers roster anymore. They can put him across from Joey Bosa and see what happens. Tillery is 6'6", but he's under 300 pounds, so maybe playing inside is not good for him. They might as well try and see what happens. At number 8, we have the 29th overall pick, defensive end LJ Collier from the Seattle Seahawks. Aside from a couple picks, the Seahawks draft history in recent years has not been that good, and hopefully Collier is not another guy to fall into that category of a bust. They traded for Carlos Dunlap last year, they just re-signed him, so now he's still there, but he can start over a guy like Benson Mayowa. Now Collier has played a good amount, but not starter snaps, quote unquote. He has not been a 3-down type guy. He's been more of a rotational piece so far in his first 2 years. Collier so far is known for making that big stop on Cam Newton on the goal line in week 2, and I would like to see what he does full time as a starter in 2021 if he gets the opportunity. At number 9, we have 32nd overall pick, wide receiver Nikhil Harry from the New England Patriots. New England needed a guy to step up last year, and Nikhil Harry could have been that guy, but he barely had over 300 yards last year in 14 games. Of course, Julian Edelman was out most of the year and no Gronkowski, so the opportunity was there. He still struggles with separation, and I don't think that's something that's going to be fixed anytime soon. And New England just signed Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, Kendrick Bourne, Nelson Aguilar. They still have Jacoby Myers, so his opportunity may have passed him by now, but hopefully he gets a chance in 2021 to prove he's that guy. And of course, New England did not have a good quarterback situation last year, but there's only so many excuses you can make for someone, so Nikhil Harry's time could be running out there for New England. And number 10, 42nd overall pick, quarterback Drew Lock of the Denver Broncos. The Broncos recently traded for Teddy Bridgewater, of course, and the Broncos have more of a win-now roster. It's a very good roster, so Lock's leash will be short this year in my opinion. Now, winning games with Teddy Bridgewater is definitely a possibility, but there's more unknown with Drew Lock, and that's definitely more appealing. Now, winning games with Teddy Bridgewater is definitely a possibility, but there's a lot more unknown with Drew Lock, and I'm sure the Broncos want to see what they have in him. Lock has had some great games in his career, even a couple last year, and of course in 2019 making a few starts, but the guy makes a lot of bad decisions. His pocket presence is not that bad, but the bad throws, the inaccuracy, you cannot have that from your franchise quarterback. He has shown the flashes, and I do think the guy has talent, of course, but I think he has to put it all together to prove that he's the guy for Denver. And Denver has great skill position players. They improved their offensive line. Garrett Bowles at left tackle was legit last year, so there's no more excuses for Drew Lock in 2021. So that'll do it for this video. Let me know what you guys think about this list. Did I forget anybody? Would you take anybody off this list? Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Subscribe and like for more NFL content, and I'll talk to you guys next time.